Some people don't like Teofimo Lopez. I'm guessing they don't like his confidence, because it kind of comes across as like him being very cocky. But when I see him talk or do interviews, I just see a confident fighter. He seems to be a guy who believes in himself. He believes that he could beat certain dudes, and some boxing fans don't like that. They don't like seeing confidence in fighters, especially when they are not proven. That's what they really don't like, when fighters talk trash and they haven't proven anything. Like me, the only time I don't like a fighter is if he talks trash, but he doesn't prove anything. That's when I don't like trash talking. But I don't have a problem with a fighter talking trash and he's fighting the best. So I had no problem with Teofimo Lopez talking trash, because it seems like he's gonna fight Vasyl Lomachenko later on this year. I mean, it seems like every little article I read, it seems like he's gonna fight him. And if he does fight him, that is obviously a massive test for Teofimo Lopez and a massive opportunity, because anybody who fights Vasyl Lomachenko, if you were to beat Vasyl Lomachenko, you get massive credit for beating Vasyl Lomachenko. Um, and a lot of people are saying this guy's the future. His last fight was against Richard Kame. He did knocked out Richard Kame. Now Richard Kame is a tough guy. He's a guy that he's extremely tough. He's extremely rugged. So it was impressive the way Teofimo Lopez caught him and stopped him. But obviously, there's a big difference in experience here. Especially in the professional ranks. Vasyl Lomachenko has just fought and been there a lot more and a lot longer. And don't even get me started with his amateur record. He has a better amateur record. But obviously, Teofimo Lopez has the youth. Um, I'm pretty sure most people are going to be picking Vasyl Lomachenko. And that's the guy who I'm definitely leaning towards. Vasyl Lomachenko is a talent, extremely fast with his hands. He's the Energizer Bunny. He has a lot of combinations. He throws a lot of combinations. He seems to never get tired. But I have noticed that as he stepped up in weight, as he's fighting the guys who are in higher weight divisions, he's not dropping these guys as before. When he was fighting in the lower weight divisions like 126, he was knocking out guys. He was knocking them out left and right. But ever since he's moved up in weight, because he's fighting the bigger guys, these guys are going the distance. He used to make guys quit. They used to call him Lomachenko. You guys remember that? But mind you, that was in the lower weight divisions. He hasn't really done that at 135. I do, and it makes sense because he's fighting the bigger guys. Um, and I believe that this is going to be one of those fights that it's either going to go two ways. It's either going to be a typical Vasyl Lomachenko fight where Vasyl Lomachenko dominates this dude, and then everybody calls this dude a hype job. Although I don't think it would be appropriate to call him a hype job, because he has like 15 fights and he's basically a prospect. So even if he were to get destroyed or schooled by Lomachenko, the dude's like 21 years old, 22 years old. He has 15 fights. He's has a lot of time to get better as a fighter. So I wouldn't necessarily look at this as like he got exposed. It's just people would look at it like that because he talked trash. But yeah, it would either go like that, or perhaps Teofimo Lopez is actually better than we thought, and maybe he can compete with Lomachenko. Maybe he can't drop him. I believe he's taller than him, although I saw a picture of them standing next to each other, and Vasyl Lomachenko looked taller. Although he's listed at 5'7", and this guy Lopez is listed at 5'8". But maybe it's just because he was the type of soles he was wearing on his shoes that day or something. Maybe he's wearing like 2-inch boots, whatever. So I'm excited for that fight. It's gonna answer a lot of questions for this guy, especially for this guy Lopez, because he's been